Hello everyone, my name is Arjan and welcome to Atelier AG. People who've seen my previous videos on this channel know that I usually make sculptures like this one, but for this video I made something completely different. I made this retro gaming cabinet. This video will be a little bit different in multiple ways. Instead of focusing on how I made this cabinet, I want to focus on why I made it and why I've made certain choices. Why did I not buy a cabinet that fits my needs? Why did I choose to use an old monitor? Why do I play retro games? Why didn't I make the cabinet out of solid walnut with an epoxy river going down the sides? And lastly, I want to focus on why this video is not about sculpting. Stick around and you'll hear all the answers. I love making stuff. Be it furniture, sculptures, illustrations, whatever. The feeling of creating anything from scratch is amazing, and I just don't get that feeling from buying anything. Making to me is like real life magic, and I don't want to miss out on that experience. So whenever I have the choice between buying and creating something, I always will at least try to do it myself. Hopefully this video will inspire you to try to create something for yourself. Another reason for making things myself is that I get the opportunity to support small local businesses. For this project and for every other project that I do, I try to find the materials I need as locally as I can. Instead of my money going to some corporate giant, I prefer that it goes to the people in my community. I read a book a while ago and it's called How to Resist Amazon and Why. It's written by Danny Kane. It is a great read and I highly recommend you going to your local bookstore and check it out. Of course, one of the reasons that I chose to use a CRT monitor is that I get the classic retro gaming experience. However, the main reason I chose to use an old monitor over a new one is to reduce my impact on electronic waste. The images you just saw came from two documentaries about electronic waste or e-waste. I've linked them both in the description below. E-waste is an immense problem because it consists of hazardous materials that are either glued or soldered together, making recycling a very time-consuming and costly process. And if it's not well done, it can also be very bad for the environment. The result is that e-waste is being exported to developing countries, sometimes even illegally, where it ends up in landfills and recycling communities where both the environment and the people suffer extremely because of it. One of the ways that you can help is by using your electronics for as long as possible. For example, this monitor is almost exactly as old as I am. Another great example is the phone that I'm using for recording. At the moment it is 4 years old. Some estimates say that the average lifetime of a mobile phone is less than 2 years. Another way of preventing e-waste is by repairing your devices, and I'll get into that in the next segment. I'm not here to tell you that gaming was better in the past. I'm here to tell you that what I love about retro games is that I can repair them. Most of the stuff I bought wasn't working when I bought it and only needed some cleaning to get them to work. For the rest, I found that there's tons of documentation online on websites like iFixit and videos on YouTube to help you repair your games and devices. What you're seeing here is me repairing a Nintendo 64 transfer pack that wasn't working. Because of corrosion, one of the copper traces was broken, preventing electricity from passing through. Looking around for a solution, I found the Retro Repairs YouTube channel with a ton of videos showing you how to repair this and a lot of solutions to other problems. I'll link to his channel in the description if you want to learn more about this specifically. The point I'm trying to make is the importance of having the possibility to repair the stuff that you own. Almost all electronic devices today are very difficult to repair, sometimes even impossible. Even the retro Nintendo stuff uses proprietary screws to prevent you from entering and even attempting to repair them. After you get these special screwdrivers, these retro consoles and games are fairly easy to open because of all the information available online, but also because older electronics are generally bigger and therefore easier to work with. I'm not looking forward to the day my phone battery inevitably dies. I will still try to fix it, but since it is not designed to be fixed, it will most likely be extremely difficult. You have probably heard about farmers in the USA suing John Deere because they cannot repair their tractors themselves, which is another great example for the right to repair movement. If you want to start repairing yourself but you feel like you don't know where to start, I suggest you go to the iFixit website, link in the description, or try to find a repair cafe near you. A repair cafe is a place where people gather to work on repairing things. So far, I've talked about the joy of making things, the impact of reusing all the devices and using the devices that you have for as long as possible, and the importance of repairability. In the next part, I'll talk about another important aspect of this story: recycling. Alright, I don't mean to question anyone's taste in furniture, but I have a bit of a problem with epoxy river furniture, apparently. The reason I don't like this specific style is because I feel like the materials aren't used with the respect they deserve. A tree is cut down only to be drowned in chemicals to keep it from moving as a piece of furniture based completely on a gimmick. I'm not saying making an epoxy river table is easy. To be honest, I don't even think I would be able to make one. All that I'm saying is that when I choose my material, I try to treat it with the most respect I can give it. And that is why I love to recycle materials wherever I can to keep it from being thrown away. The inner structure for this cabinet was made with MDF I salvaged from a commission that went horribly wrong. I designed a piece of furniture, and when I was installing it, it turned out my design was not working at all. I had to dismantle everything and I was left with damaged, strangely shaped panels that made me feel like a complete failure. I didn't want to throw them away, but I also didn't know if I would be able to use them for anything, until I came up with this gaming cabinet. By being able to recycle most of the wood from this failed project, I turned my feeling of failure and self-doubt into something that gives me joy every time I look at it. The outside panels for this cabinet are made with birch plywood that was left over from another project I did. I kept this plywood panel in my basement for more than a year, but unfortunately there were some problems with moisture. The panel was a bit moldy, there was weird stains all over it. Again, I was afraid I had to throw away the panel, but after some thorough sanding, the stains were mostly gone. It is still a little bit visible in the finished piece, but in any case, it gives it character. To protect the edges of the plywood, I made some strips out of solid maple that I salvaged from an old frame. So in the end, all the wood in this project is recycled. And finally, to protect the surfaces of this cabinet, I used a natural hard wax oil, no varnishes or any other nasty chemicals. As I said earlier in the video, people who have seen my previous videos know that until now I've only uploaded videos of me making sculptures. I will still make and share these kind of videos, but I really wanted to tell this story and show you that I do a lot more than only sculpting. The name of this channel is Atelier AG. Atelier is the word for workplace in both Dutch and French. I chose this word because I find it difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is that I do. Also, while working on the script, I looked up the definition of atelier online and I found this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I, for one, really enjoyed working on it, both the physical aspects and doing some research and getting to speak about a topic that I find really important. If you have any feedback on this video, I would love to hear it. Thank you for watching this video until the end. It is much appreciated. You can always subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of videos, or you can follow me on Instagram. Again, link in the description below. Thanks again. See you next time. Goodbye. I thought it might be cool to also give you a little bit of a tour of the cabinet that I made. So, of course, the monitor is here. And there's basically two hinging doors. In the top one I have my Super Nintendo, and in the bottom one I have my Nintendo 64. Then I made a drawer in the bottom where I keep like all the games, some cabling, and some Game Boys, and it's on wheels so I can move it around when I want to. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.